Something is changing inside of you, and it's not subtle. You're not becoming spiritual. You're not learning something new. You are remembering something ancient. And when the higher self begins to merge with the human self, the signs don't arrive as fireworks. They arrive as shifts in perception, identity, and inner gravity. If you've been feeling strangely different lately, calmer, clearer, less reactive, but also less interested in the old world, this video is for you. Because this is what it looks like when the Oversoul begins to awaken through you. Most people think the higher self is something above them. A guide, a guardian, a distant spiritual version of who they might become one day. But that's not completely accurate. The higher self is not above you. It's behind you, like a vast intelligence slowly stepping forward through the narrow doorway of your human life. And when that merge begins, life doesn't necessarily get easier, but it does get clearer. Today, I want to walk you through the most common and most misunderstood signs that your higher self is no longer observing from a distance, but integrating directly into your awareness. Let's begin. One of the first signs is emotional quiet. Things that used to trigger you no longer hook into you the same way. Arguments don't pull you in. Drama feels loud instead of compelling. This doesn't mean that you don't feel. It means emotion no longer runs the system. Your reactions slow down, not because you're suppressing them, but because something deeper is now present before the reaction even forms. The higher self doesn't react to life. It responds to it. And when it begins to merge, you start to feel that pause, that space between stimulus and identity. This part confuses people. You may feel strangely detached from the old versions of yourself. Your old goals, your old labels, the old narratives you once fought hard to defend. Not because they were wrong, but because they've been outgrown. The higher self doesn't attach to identity. It uses identity as a tool. So when integration begins, the mind may feel disoriented, like the floor it once stood on is dissolving. This is not loss. It's expansion. You are no longer confined to a single story. Another sign is an inner sense of alignment without effort. Decisions feel quieter. Paths open without forcing. You say no more easily, and yes more honestly. This isn't blind intuition or emotional impulse. It's a subtle coherence, like your inner compass recalibrated itself without explanation. The higher self doesn't shout. It doesn't command. It aligns. And when it merges, your life begins to organize itself with less resistance, even if the outer circumstances haven't fully caught up yet. You may find yourself craving stillness, not isolation, but space. Noise drains you faster. Superficial conversations feel heavy. You need fewer words to feel complete. This happens because the higher self doesn't need stimulation to exist. It is the source of presence. So when it integrates, your nervous system starts tuning itself to quieter frequencies. Silence no longer feels empty. It feels intelligent. Many people report a subtle distortion of time during integration. Moments feel deeper. Days feel faster. The future feels less solid. Not frightening, just open. This is because the higher self does not experience time linearly. As it merges with human awareness, your sense of urgency dissolves. You still act, but you're no longer chased by time. You begin to live from the now, rather than toward later. Perhaps the most telling sign is that you stop needing answers. Not because you've figured everything out, but because the question itself has softened. You don't need life to make sense in words anymore. You feel it directly. The higher self doesn't seek meaning. It embodies it. And when it merges, life becomes less about understanding and more about presence. If you recognize yourself in these signs, don't rush the process. This is not an upgrade that you force. It's an integration that you allow. The human self doesn't disappear. It just becomes transparent enough for something greater to move through it. You are not becoming something new. You are widening your awareness. And the Oversoul doesn't arrive as a dramatic awakening. It arrives as a quiet remembering that you were never separate from it to begin with. Your dreams aren't random. Your synchronicities aren't coincidences. And the part of you receiving them isn't the thinking mind. They're signals, and they're coming from a level of intelligence that sees far beyond your current moment. Most people believe that guidance comes from thinking harder, from analyzing more, or from trying to control outcomes. But the Oversoul doesn't communicate through logic. It communicates through symbol, timing, feeling, and resonance. Dreams and synchronicities are not mystical accidents. They are the Oversoul's native language, speaking to you where the ego cannot interfere. Today, we're going to decode how that communication works, why it intensifies during certain phases of your life, and how to recognize when something is truly guidance, not imagination. Let's begin. Dreams occur when your guard drops. When you sleep, the analytical mind loosens its grip. The identity you perform during the day goes offline, and in that silence, a deeper intelligence has access. The Oversoul doesn't speak in sentences. It speaks in images, emotional tone, movement, and symbolism. That's why dreams often feel strange but meaningful. They don't explain, they impress. A single image can carry layers of information your conscious mind would argue with if delivered directly. So the message arrives sideways, through metaphor. The dream isn't asking you to interpret it intellectually. It's asking you to feel what it points toward. Synchronicities are dreams that happen while you're awake. They're moments where inner awareness and outer reality line up just enough for you to notice. Repeating numbers, unexpected encounters, a sentence overheard at the exact moment you're questioning something internal. This isn't the universe sending signs like a cosmic mailman. It's resonance. When your inner state aligns with a broader pattern of intelligence, reality mirrors that alignment back to you. Not to convince you, but to confirm direction. The Oversoul doesn't force outcomes. It highlights pathways. Synchronicity is not instruction. It's feedback. You'll notice that dreams and synchronicities will spike during periods of change. Endings, identity shifts, moments where the old version of you no longer fits. That's not a coincidence. When the personality loosens, the Oversoul has more room to operate. When certainty dissolves, guidance becomes louder. Confusion isn't a failure state. It's an opening. The Oversoul communicates most clearly when the ego doesn't already think it knows the answer. Here's the truth that most people avoid. Not every dream is a message. Not every coincidence is guidance. Real Oversoul communication has 3 signatures. Number 1. Emotional neutrality. It feels clear, not frantic. Number 2. Timelessness. It resonates beyond immediate desire. And number 3. Expansion. It opens perception rather than narrowing it. If something creates obsession, fear, or urgency, that's the ego trying to hijack the meaning. The Oversoul doesn't rush you. It doesn't threaten you. It doesn't demand belief. It simply reveals. You don't need rituals. You don't need techniques. You need receptivity. The Oversoul communicates when you're listening without agenda. Stillness before sleep. Honest reflection instead of interpretation. Not asking, what does this mean? But, what is this showing me about my current state? Meaning emerges naturally when resistance drops. Dreams are the Oversoul speaking inwardly. Synchronicities are the Oversoul speaking outwardly. Both are invitations, not commands. You don't follow them blindly. You align with them consciously. Because guidance isn't about control. It's about coherence. And when you're aligned, life doesn't need to shout. It simply responds. You are not who you think you are. Most confusion about identity comes from collapsing different layers of self into one voice. When everything inside you speaks at once, you mistake noise for truth. Today, we're going to separate the layers, clearly, calmly, and without spiritual distortion, so you can recognize who is speaking inside of you at any given moment. Because once you know that, your entire relationship with thought, emotion, and identity changes. In this video, we're exploring the 3 fundamental layers of the self: the ego, the soul, and source. Not as beliefs, not as a philosophy, but as lived, observable experiences you can recognize in real time. This is not about transcending the ego or romanticizing the soul. It's about understanding how consciousness moves through form and how confusion disappears when each layer is seen for what it actually is. Let's begin. The ego is not evil. It is not broken. And it is not something you need to destroy. The ego is an interface. It is the part of consciousness that organizes experience into a personal narrative. I am this. This happened to me. this means something about who I am. The ego creates continuity, memory, story, identity. Without ego, you couldn't function in real time. You couldn't make plans, protect yourself, or navigate relationships. The problem isn't the ego's existence. The problem is mistaking the ego for the whole of you. When the ego believes it is the self, it becomes defensive, controlling, anxious, and reactive. It's not because it's malicious. It's because it's trying to do a job it was never designed to do. The ego was meant to serve awareness, not replace it. Beneath the ego is what many traditions call the soul, not as a fantasy object, but as a coherent pattern of being. The soul is not your personality. It's not your trauma. It's not your preferences. The soul is the signature of how consciousness expresses itself through you. This is why some qualities feel innate. Your sensitivity, your depth, your way of perceiving meaning. These aren't learned in the same way the ego learns. They feel remembered. The soul doesn't argue. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need validation. It speaks through resonance, through alignment, through a quiet sense of this feels true. When you act from the soul, effort decreases. Life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes coherent. Source is not a being. It is not a personality. It is not you in the personal sense. Source is awareness itself. The field in which ego appears. The space through which the soul expresses. The silent presence that existed before your first thought and remains when all thought dissolves. You don't reach source. You notice that it's already here. Every moment of stillness, every pause between thoughts, every sense of I am before I describe it. That is source recognizing itself. This is why source feels impersonal yet intimate, empty yet full, still yet alive. It doesn't intervene. It allows. Suffering arises when these layers collapse into one another. When the ego tries to speak for the soul. When the soul is filtered through fear. When source is turned into an idea instead of recognized as presence. Clarity returns when each layer is seen in its proper role. Ego organizes experience. Soul gives it direction. Source gives it space. Nothing needs to be removed. Nothing needs to be fixed. It only needs to be recognized. You don't need to become someone new. You need to stop confusing the voices within you. When you know whether a thought is coming from the ego, the soul, or silence itself, discernment becomes natural. And when discernment is natural, peace is no longer something you chase. It's something you notice was already here. You are not a fragment trying to become whole. You are wholeness pretending to be a fragment. The feeling that something vast is missing from your life. That you've lived many lives inside this one. That you almost remember something infinite but can't quite grasp it. That isn't imagination. That's memory. And today, we're going to talk about what it means to awaken the Oversoul. Not as an idea, not as a belief, but as a lived remembering of who you actually are. Most spiritual teachings focus on improvement. Be better, heal more, ascend higher. But awakening the Oversoul isn't about becoming anything new. It's about remembering what was never lost. The Oversoul is not above you. It is not watching you from another realm. It is not something you need to earn. The Oversoul is the totality of consciousness expressing itself through countless perspectives. And you are one of those perspectives. Not separate, not disconnected, not incomplete. In this video, we'll explore what the Oversoul actually is, why individuality exists without being separation, how memory, intuition, and déjà vu signal Oversoul awareness, and what changes when you stop identifying as a fragment and remember the infinite self moving through you. This isn't philosophy. This is perception. Let's begin. The Oversoul is not a higher version of you. It is you without limitation. Imagine consciousness like a vast ocean. Waves rise and fall, each with a unique shape, movement, and duration. Each wave appears separate, yet every wave is the ocean expressing itself locally. You are not a wave trying to return to the ocean. You are the ocean temporarily expressing as a wave. The Oversoul is that oceanic intelligence, the field of awareness that gives rise to every identity, every lifetime, every thought, and every experience. It is not located in time. It is not bound to space. It does not judge or intervene. It experiences. And when you awaken to the Oversoul, you stop asking, "Who am I becoming?" and begin remembering, "Who has always been here?" This is why awakening often feels familiar rather than new. Why truth resonates instead of convincing. Why recognition replaces belief. You're not learning. You're remembering. If the Oversoul is whole, why does life feel fragmented? Because experience requires contrast. The Oversoul doesn't divide itself because it's broken. It differentiates itself to experience itself. Individuality is not a mistake. It's a lens. Your personality, your emotions, your preferences and wounds, your joys, they are not flaws to transcend. They are instruments through which the Oversoul tastes reality. Separation is a perceptual illusion, not a metaphysical one. Think of light passing through a prism. Each color appears separate, yet all arise from the same source. When you identify exclusively with the color, you feel isolated. When you remember the light, you feel whole. Awakening the Oversoul doesn't erase individuality. It recontextualizes it. You don't disappear. You expand. Oversoul awareness doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives quietly and unmistakably. You may notice the sense that time is folding in on itself. Moments of deep familiarity with people you've never met. An unexplainable compassion that extends beyond personal identity. A loss of interest in proving, defending, or becoming someone. You stop feeling like life is happening to you and begin sensing life happening through you. Synchronicities increase, not as magic, but as coherence. Intuition sharpens, not as prediction, but as resonance. And perhaps most importantly, fear begins to lose its authority. Because fear depends on fragmentation, and the Oversoul remembers wholeness. One of the greatest misconceptions is that memory belongs to the brain. The brain stores data. The Oversoul remembers being. This is why certain truths hit you emotionally rather than intellectually. Why some experiences feel ancient. Why you recognize wisdom you were never taught. The Oversoul doesn't recall facts. It recalls patterns. When you awaken to it, you stop searching for meaning and start noticing recognition. You don't ask, "Is this true?" You feel, "I've always known this." That's Oversoul memory surfacing through the human lens. When Oversoul awareness stabilizes, life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes honest. You stop forcing alignment and start noticing it. You stop chasing purpose and start embodying presence. You stop fearing death, not because you deny it, but because you recognize continuity. Decisions become quieter. Reactions soften. Identity loosens. You still feel emotions. You still experience challenge, but you're no longer trapped inside them. You become the space in which they move. And from that space, compassion becomes natural, not moral. Forgiveness becomes effortless, not performative. Love becomes expansive, not conditional. This is not transcendence. This is remembrance. The Oversoul is not something you need to awaken to. It is what's awakening through you. Every moment of presence, every act of awareness, every time you witness rather than react. That's the Oversoul remembering itself as you. You are not late. You are not broken. You're not behind. You are exactly where infinite consciousness chose to experience itself. And that means you were never lost, only remembering. Most people think intelligence comes from thinking harder, from analyzing, from effort, from mental force. But the highest intelligence you ever will access does not come from thought. It comes from when thought gets quiet enough to move out of the way. Stillness isn't the absence of intelligence. It's the doorway to it. When the mind stops trying to control reality, something deeper begins to speak through you, clearly, precisely, and without strain. Today, I'm going to show you how higher intelligence actually enters awareness, why most people block it, and how stillness becomes a living channel rather than a passive state. Let's begin. Thought is useful, but it's not the source. Thought rearranges what you already know. Higher intelligence introduces what you don't. When you're constantly thinking, judging, planning, and reacting, the mind becomes loud, and loud systems drown out subtle signals. Higher intelligence is quiet, not weak, but refined. It doesn't shout. It doesn't argue. It arrives as clarity, timing, intuition, insight, and right action without explanation. If you're always mentally busy, you're not unintelligent. You're just blocking the signal. Most people misunderstand stillness as emptiness or passivity. Stillness is not zoning out. It's not disassociation. It's not shutting down. Stillness is alert silence. It's awareness without commentary, presence without narration, attention without tension. When the nervous system relaxes and awareness stabilizes, intelligence begins to move through you instead of being forced by you. This is why some of your best ideas arrive in the shower, why clarity hits when you stop trying, why answers appear after surrender, not effort. Stillness isn't doing nothing. It's removing the interference. Higher intelligence doesn't feel dramatic. It feels obvious. There's no emotional charge, no urgency, no inner debate. It feels like, of course, this makes sense. I know what to do now. And once it arrives, action becomes effortless. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop second guessing. You stop overcorrecting. Stillness doesn't make you inactive. It makes you precise. You don't channel higher intelligence by chasing it. You create the conditions for it to arrive on its own. Here's the shift. Stop trying to get answers. Start becoming quiet enough to receive them. Sit without goals. Breathe without control. Notice without labeling. Let thought rise and fall without following it. At first, the mind resists. It wants to stay in charge. But when you don't engage, something deeper steps forward. It's calm, stable, intelligent, and clear. It's not imagination. It's not belief. It's the intelligence that's been waiting beneath the noise. Stillness is not retreating from life. It's aligning with the intelligence that creates life. When you stop forcing, clarity replaces confusion. When you stop grasping, guidance appears. When the mind relaxes, intelligence flows. You don't need more information. You just need less interference. The Oversoul does not come to save you. It comes to inhabit you. What most people call awakening is not an escape from the human condition. It is the descent of something vast, silent, and intelligent into the body itself. This is not ascension. This is incarnation, done consciously. There comes a moment on the path when seeking upward stops working. You've expanded your awareness. You've touched stillness. You've glimpsed something infinite. And yet, you're still here. Still embodied. Still human. This is where many spiritual teachings quietly fail, because they are preparing you to leave, not to arrive. Today we explore the true meaning of embodiment, what it means to become the Oversoul in flesh, to let higher intelligence descend into the nervous system, the emotions, the voice, the choices. Not as fantasy, not as identity, but as lived presence. Let's begin. The Oversoul is not hovering somewhere higher, waiting for you to reach it. That idea keeps consciousness split. The Oversoul is the total field of awareness that you already belong to. And awakening begins when the illusion of separation softens. At first, the connection feels vertical. Moments of insight, states of clarity, bursts of knowing. But eventually, the movement reverses. Instead of you reaching upward, something begins moving downward, into breath, into posture, into speech, into decision. This is the descent of light, and it can feel disorienting because infinity entering form does not feel like bliss. It feels like weight, responsibility, and grounding. Expansion feels liberating. Descent feels demanding. When higher awareness enters the body, it exposes everything that cannot hold it yet. Old emotions surface. Unintegrated wounds react. Patterns resist change. Not because something is wrong, but because light does not bypass the nervous system. It reorganizes it. This is why many people retreat back into transcendence. They chase the peak again. They avoid the descent. But embodiment is where awakening becomes real. Not in visions, not in concepts, but in how you listen, how you speak, and how you respond under pressure. Becoming the Oversoul in flesh does not mean becoming special. It means becoming transparent. Your identity stops being something you perform and becomes something that moves through you. You speak more slowly. You react less automatically. You feel before you act. This is not detachment. This is coherence. The body begins to trust the awareness inhabiting it. The mind stops trying to control outcomes. Life begins to move with you instead of against you. Not because you force it, but because resistance dissolves. Here is the truth few will ever tell you. The Oversoul does not erase your humanity. It uses it. Your sensitivity becomes perception. Your pain becomes discernment. Your limits become precision. This is not about perfection. It's about alignment. You stop trying to be infinite and allow infinity to express itself as you, through your exact temperament, your exact history, your exact place in the world. This is sacred alchemy. Light learning how to walk, how to speak, and how to choose. At this stage, spirituality stops being something you practice, and it becomes something about how you inhabit moments. You don't chase insight. You embody clarity. You don't defend identity. You remain present. You don't try to control the future. You respond from depth. This is not dramatic. It's quite subtle. It's quiet and stable. And yet, everything changes. Because the Oversoul is no longer an idea you believe in. It is the intelligence looking through your eyes. The journey does not end in light. It ends in light learning how to live as you. To walk the earth without leaving it. To hold infinity without losing grounding. To let awareness descend, fully, gently, and honestly. This is not an escape. This is embodiment. And this is where the work becomes real. If this journey spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone ready to experience life beyond thought. Comment below. What part of you is learning to let awareness fully inhabit the body? I read every comment. If you would like to support my work directly, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/magnumopus333. Or you can explore some original merchandise at my Teespring store online. The link is in the description below. Remember, your consciousness is the key that unlocks reality. Let's keep unlocking it together. Thank you for watching. Until next time.